Okay, so by now you've probably heard about BC's new 3-day cooling off period. This is a new law that was put into effect a few months back by the NDP government, and they did so to help protect home buyers during the height of the market. But the question is, well, does it really protect home buyers, or was it yet another ploy by politicians to garner votes? Well, in this video, we're going to take a deeper look at some of the pros and cons of this new law. And let's not forget, this is a new law, which means all home buyers will be required to follow it. And this law takes effect January the 1st, 2023. So we're going to look at some of the pros and some of the cons on how this new law is going to affect both home sellers and home buyers. Hey, my name's Glen Hopkins. I'm a local realtor here in the South Surrey and White Rock area. If you're thinking about making a move, whether it's buying or selling a home, or if you have any real estate related questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out and connect with me. In the description below, you'll find a link where you can schedule a call. You're also going to find a couple of other links there to my podcast. You can download a copy of my home buyer's guide, my home seller's guide. There's a relocation guide, all sorts of great stuff. So make sure you take a look while you're down there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. And by the way, be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you what some people are proposing they may do as home buyers as a possible workaround to this new law. So just a quick recap of what the 3-day cooling off period is. Well, it's a new law that's been put into effect by the NDP government. They put it into effect a few months ago during the height of the market, and it's going to take effect January the 1st, 2023. Now, because it's a new law, well, it's a law meaning every home buyer is required to follow it. And what it essentially does is it gives home buyers 3 days to go out and do their due diligence. So they'll have an opportunity to do a home inspection, check into their financing, and anything else that they may want to do. Now, again, this is really just taking away the option of buyers to put in a condition-free offer. Now, a rescission period like this is not necessarily a new thing. In fact, it's been around for a long time with new construction projects, specifically with condos and townhouses. The difference is with new construction, well, you have a 7-day rescission period rather than a 3-day rescission period. So when buying new construction, specifically strata like townhouses and condos, home buyers are given 7 days to actually rescind their offer. So they have 7 days to do their due diligence. And this is really important because oftentimes home buyers of new construction, well, they're unrepresented. They go in there without a realtor representing them, and they're basically doing it on their own. So it's really important that they're given that time to go back and reflect and review the contracts, have a lawyer look at it, maybe have a realtor look at it after the fact. But it's important that they have that 7-day period. And of course, it's a little bit different for the developer as well because, well, developers, well, they typically have very deep pockets. Not to mention they've been doing this for a long time. They have hundreds of units for sale, and they can simply, if you rescind their offer, they can put that unit back for sale without much issue. So why is this new law being implemented? Was it just to garner votes, or is it something else? You know, to me, the title cooling off period, it's very misleading because it would lead the general public to believe that it's designed to cool down the market, when in fact it has nothing to do with that. What it's designed to do is give homebuyers who have made a emotional, unwise decision an opportunity to cool off their emotions, and then retract an offer should they choose to do so. And if in some crazy way it was designed to cool down the market, well, it's too late now because it hasn't even taken effect until January the 1st. And the market has cooled down drastically over the last few months. The reason it cooled down, of course, is because of the increased rate hikes that we're seeing. The increased rate hikes are causing the markets to slow and prices to drop. Now, although this new law was put into place to help protect home buyers, in some circumstances, it's actually going to have some negative effect as well. So an example might be in a multiple offer situation. When the market does get hot again, in a multiple offer situation, if you're a cash buyer and you're in a position where you could put in a condition-free offer, well, you're no longer able to do that. So it's going to take away some of your leverage and some of your negotiation power from putting in a stronger offer from the competition. Now, interestingly, with that law also comes a penalty to home buyers should they choose to rescind their offer during that 3-day period. And that penalty is designed to help prevent frivolous offers, meaning we don't want to see buyers put, 10, 15 offers on multiple properties because that would really cause some serious issues. So that penalty, if you put an offer on a home and you decide to rescind that offer within 3 days, there will be a penalty of 0.25% of the purchase price. So that works out to $250 for every $100,000 of the purchase price, or $2,500 for every $1 million. Now, That's not a huge penalty, but nonetheless, it should be big enough to prevent home buyers from making multiple offers on multiple properties. So think about this for a minute. The government says that they're putting this new law into effect to protect home buyers. But on the other hand, they're saying that if the home buyer rescinds their offer, they're going to have to pay a penalty. Currently, the way things are is if a buyer puts an offer on a home with conditions, subject to conditions, that buyer does not have to remove the conditions. And if they don't remove the conditions, they do not have to pay a penalty. So one question a lot of people are asking is, when is the rescission money collected? Well, chances are what will happen is when a buyer makes an offer on a home, they will submit a deposit along with their offer. Now, the amount of that deposit will obviously cover the amount of the penalty that they will be penalized should they retract their offer. Now, the way it stands today is most often when a buyer in the Fraser Valley makes an offer on a home with conditions, the deposit is not due until they remove all of the conditions, typically 7 to 10 days after making the offer, which means it is possible that we will see a two-tier deposit kind of thing where the buyer will put in the first deposit that will cover the potential penalty, and then the second deposit would become due upon removal of the subjects. Now, some people are suggesting a possible workaround to this law is, well, if you're a buyer, why don't you just put in with your offer a non-refundable deposit made payable to the seller? That, in effect, would get around the entire situation. Now, if you choose to do that or not, or perhaps the law is going to change and they're going to fill in some of the blanks for us before January 1st, hopefully they do, but we'll know better at that time if you're able to do something like that or not. So there you have it. Those are some of the pros and cons for both buyers and sellers with this new 3-day cooling off period. So hopefully that's helped answer some questions for you. If you have any other questions whatsoever in regards to the 3-day cooling off period, or perhaps buying or selling a home here in the South Surrey or White Rock area, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below.